Hello everybody, my name's Joy. I wanted to show you how I made some medicine to treat my grandson and my daughter for their Tourette's Syndrome and my daughter's tic disorder. My grandson has TS+, so he has all the comorbids, including OCD, ODD, Tourette's rage, coprolalia, coprolaxia, coprographia, anxiety, and the Clerodendrum Inerme homeopathic remedy treated all of those conditions. So now all of those symptoms are down to about 10% of what they used to be. And he's now able to function better, his brain is clearer, the fog's lifted, he's able to make more informed decisions, and if he feels a tic coming on, he can actually just sort of say, "Hello, you're here, are you?" and shut the door. My daughter describes it as the difference after taking the Clerodendrum Inerme homeopathic remedy of instead of the tic just barging in through the door, she can say that, "Oh, you're there, are you? You're not coming in, go away," because of the great control she now has over her tic disorder. I'm not saying that you should make it, that you should give it to your children. I just wanted to show you what helped for my family. So this is the plant. It's called Clerodendrum Inerme. It's not exactly indigenous to Australia, but it used to be prolific along the northeast coast of Australia in the 1800s, according to the Atlas of Australia. We had quite a bit of difficulty finding it, but we finally found it in a nursery. This one's been grown in Victoria, which is the south of Australia, where it's very cold, and that's why it's so leggy. But really, ideally, I should be cutting this off right down here and it will bush up beautifully. It does do that very easily. Topiarists love it because it can be pruned into any shape that you want it to be pruned into, and bonsai enthusiasts also love it. But this will grow into a great long leggy 20-foot bush in its ideal climate, which is subtropical. So there it is, Clerodendrum Inerme, which we will refer to from here on in as Cleo, because it's a lot easier. So I'm going to show you today how I made 3 different recipes. I firstly made a mother tincture, and from the mother tincture I made a stock remedy, and from the stock remedy I made the actual 30C homeopathic remedy as a medicine for my grandson and my daughter. Now how I went about this was to take a bunch of Clerodendrum Inerme leaves and a big chopping knife and a chopping board, and I just chopped them up a bit. Not as finely as parsley, but just chopped them up a bit and put them in a glass jar and covered them with vodka. So the vodka, the 95% proof vodka, this one is the Polish vodka, Spiritus. If you're in Australia, you can get this from Jim's Cellars online. And you pour that over the leaves in the jar and put it in the back of your cupboard for at least 2 weeks in a dark cupboard. I left it there for 6 weeks. And for the first week or so, just check that all of the leaves are still underneath the vodka. Sometimes they sort of expand and poke up and you need to put a bit more vodka on it. So the vodka becomes the solvent to draw that which is in the leaves into the vodka. So after a minimum of 2 weeks, you would then strain all the leaves out of the vodka and you would be left with the mother tincture, Exhibit A. Now that's going to be preserved for a year or two because it's in 95% alcohol. So from the mother tincture I then made a bottle of stock remedy. Now homeopathic medicines are made at all different strengths. So the 12X remedy that I made in the first place is not as strong as this 30C remedy. I won't go into details about all of this, but I do want you to know that the C stands for century, which is 100, and so that's the dilution, 1 part of the mother tincture to 99 parts of water. That makes the C on the end of it. And the dilution and succussion, which I'm going to show you in a minute, process is repeated 30 times. So it's 30 times the dilution and succussion to the power of 1 in 100. So it's called 30C. I know that's a bit confusing, but I'm going to show you right now. So here's a bottle here, which I've already labelled Clerodendrum Inerme 30C, and on the back of it I put a mark with a texture pen at the 100ml mark. So into this, to make the 30C, I'm going to put 1 ml of this mother tincture. So my measuring spoon's disappeared, so we'll just pretend that we've done that we've put 1 ml of this mother tincture. So 1 ml is a little less than 1/4 of a teaspoon of this. So you can see how long this is going to last me. So you put 1 ml into here, and then I'm going to fill it up with ordinary tap water, in my case, to the 100ml mark. Like so. I wanted to talk to you about the water. My water comes off my roof. My house is 3 years old, it's a tin roof, so it's nice and clean. From there it's stored into a poly tank, which is food grade and chemically inert, and I don't have copper piping. There's no lead in it, and there's no fluoride or chlorine. So if you find yourself in a situation when any of those nasties might be lurking in your water, then you will need to also go down the street and buy 3 litres of spring water. But as I don't, it's as simple as putting the lid on. So that was the dilution, 1 in 100. And now we're going to succuss it. What's succussion? Just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're just going to hold your jar very firmly and bring it down on the palm of your hand 5 times. So then we're going to take 1 ml out of this bottle, and are you ready for this? We're going to throw it all out. Now we're going to return the 1 ml of the original dilution and fill it up to the 100ml mark again. I know what you're thinking, this all sounds crazy, and you think I'm in fairyland, but what can I tell you, it works. I felt exactly the same way until it worked for my family. So now we're going to do the second succussion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the second dilution. Throw it all out. Return the 1 ml. Every time you throw it all out, except that you keep 1 ml of the previous dilution and return it to the bottle. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I've succussed it 2 or 3 times, I can't remember. Throw it all out. So keep doing that until you've done it 29 times. And now you've got a completely empty bottle. And so to make the 30C, you take the vodka and fill up the container with vodka to the 100ml mark. Put the cap on and you're done. This is now your bottle of 30C stock remedy. And here it is here. So in order to make a medicine for my grandson, I simply put 3 drops, and I'm going to do this right now. 3 drops of this vodka water into here. 1, 2, 3, no more. And I'm going to fill up the bottle with water. This is a 15ml bottle. If you go to a homeopathic practitioner, this is what you will receive from her, a 15ml bottle. So 20 drops is less than 1/4 of a teaspoon. I think there's 100 drops in a teaspoon. So in here, there's 300 drops of medicine. So we'll talk about the dosages a little bit later, but my daughter takes 10 drops of this as she needs it, and my grandson takes 10 to 15 drops of this as he needs it. So she needs it about once a week. My grandson needs it maybe twice a week. So there you go. There's 3 recipes. The mother tincture, from which we get the stock remedy, from which we make the 30C medicine. Just 1 or 2 other thoughts about this plant, Clerodendrum Inerme. I would like to encourage you to join a Facebook group called Natural Care for Tics and Tourettes, which was set up by my dear friend Kate. You will find lots of discussion around this plant there. Also, you will find links to scientific papers talking about Clerodendrum Inerme and Tourette's and tic disorders, and you'll discover that there is actually a patent pending on this plant as a treatment for tics and Tourette's. You'll also learn about the second documented case of this plant being taken by Jeremiah, my friend in South Africa's son, 7 years ago. 7 years she's been treating him with this plant, and he is completely tick-free. I hope to put information below in the comments about where you might buy this plant or the leaves in Australia, and also where you might be able to source it from a nursery in the Canary Islands who will ship worldwide if the incoming countries' quarantine regulations permit. I also hope to point you in the direction of a homeopathic practitioner from whom you can purchase some homeopathic remedy if you're not in a position to make it for yourself just now. There are lots of different potencies that homeopathic remedies are made in. So if the 30C does not suit you, you can also try a higher potency. I'd like to point out that Clerodendrum Inerme has not been evaluated or tested by the FDA or the TGA, and I am not offering any medical advice, except to say that in common with a lot of pharmaceuticals, Clerodendrum Inerme should not be taken if you are pregnant or you may be pregnant. Thanks for your time.